What's up, y'all? All right, another Thursday night. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to be kind of all over the board tonight because there's a lot going on you need to be paying attention to. And it all comes down to one thing, and hopefully we're going to get there before this is over. So hang on. Let's see who's with us here. Looks like Buzz Runner was here, but he had to take a dive and go out.
Back.
He's back? All right. Tammy Joe's in the house with us. Wanda Landry. All right. If you hear some coughing, the Lady Prepper has a cold. But I need her in here with me because she reads the comments much closer than I do.
I'll try to be quiet.
Believe me. All right. Debbie Jones is here, and I know Rob's with her. Thank you, guys. Hey, does this look familiar? Hang on. What about that? Does that look familiar? Hope you got that item you were expecting today. And like I said, make sure you practice with it before you need it, because I told you what happened to that one person that I know very well. What he did, he had one of those and he never used it before he needed it, and then he was just lost, didn't know how to use it. So I'm not going to tell everybody what you got, but I'm glad you got it. All right. Prepared Florida. All right. I know who that is. Yeah, I sure do. Got a new handle. Thank you for being here with us.
Craig, so they know.
Yeah, it's Craig. I'll let you know. It's Craig. Go over and check his channel out if you can. I'm absolutely going to do that. Got to get over there and subscribe for sure. Who else we got with us down here? Lynn Stalker is with us. Got her granddaughter with her. All right. Thank you so much. We want to give the grandbaby a shout out. All right. We'll try to keep it clean so you don't have to mute the sound. Short-lived Saints in the house. There we go. CC's back with us from Carolina. Hope you guys are thawing out up there. We were thawing out. Now it's going to get cold again tonight. When I woke up this morning, it was 57 degrees. When I wake up tomorrow, it's going to be 37. That's the kind of weather that makes you sick.
I'm living proof.
Yeah, right there's the proof right over
Katie's
there.
got her grandbaby Ruby with her too.
All right. Husky Mom 4 is with us. Hey, it was good to hear from you. Glad you're doing all that prepping down there. Thank you for letting me know what's going on. J1's in the house. Dave Sterner's with us. Simple Man Prepping. There we go. I'm going to get you a wrench. When we come back next week, you'll have a wrench. So drop in and make sure I did that for you. And if I didn't, you call me out on it. But I'm pretty sure I'll get it done. Metal's with us. All right. Diane LS is in the house. And we got JD prepping. Okay, whatever. I can't.
Prepping Erie.
Prepping Erie. You're in Erie, Pennsylvania. All right. Yep, we got to get you a wrench too. I know that for sure. I'll get you one for sure. Come on down. There's the man, Bill. He lives the life, y'all. He sure does. Patriot Ordnance is with us. Man, we got a good bunch. JS Genesis Design. Thank you so much for being here, brother. Shalom. And Katie is with us. Got her grandbaby Ruby. All right. Good to know. All right. Thank you for bringing them in here. I hit the bottom of my list. All right. Thank you guys so much. I know there's more of you out there than I see in these comments because I can see the number right there. I think they finally got it right this time, and it just went up one. Thank you so much.
There's Michelle J. She just popped in the
Michelle
bottom.
J popped in. We got to call her out. There we go. All right. You guys thawing out up there too, I hope.
David 4. T4.
Yeah, David T4 made it. They're dropping in here. All right. Appreciate you guys so much. Yes, I do.
Katie said you just made her granddaughter's night.
Oh, good. All right. Let's see what's happening now. A couple of things I want to touch on before we get to the point of this entire situation I got going on tonight. First one is this one. Tiki Barber. Damn good football player back in the day. But he's saying that the Super Bowl needs to steer clear of politics to provide fans with an escape. Did they have to did he have to tell the NFL that? That's what sports is all about. That's why they need to stay out of the political arena. But here's one for you. You might not know. Remember the Black Lives Matter movement, BLM Incorporated, that everybody was given hundreds of millions of dollars to, which turned out to be a fraud. The NFL is still giving them money. How damn dumb is that? How dumb is that? How can you be so afraid of being called racist that you won't stop giving fraudsters your money? That's the NFL, guys. That's why we don't watch it here regularly. We drop in and catch a game every now and then when there's nothing else on, and
We've just been catching the playoffs.
yeah, catch a playoff game or whatever. But these sports organizations need to stay out of politics. They're not a political organization. They are supposed to be that escape that Tiki Barber was talking about right there. We need that terribly right now. We're going to get into that here in just a few minutes too. But this one right here, I had to laugh at. Okay, a local tribe says Billy Eilish LA mansion sits on their stolen land. Yes, it does. And guess what? There's already a law firm, big time law firm out in LA that has volunteered to step up and make sure they recover their land from her. So that's going to be fun to watch. See if they actually do it or not, or if it's just some publicity stuff. See, I almost said bad.
You almost did, Ruby.
That's for you, Ruby.
Baby.
I held that word for you, pretty girl. But you know me, I did some research, and then I had to post what I found out on social media, all of my social media accounts. Right here's what I found out. I went and researched the Sioux Nation because it was one of the largest Native American tribes in the United States. So I did a little research to see how they got all of their territory. Well, they stole it from the Cheyenne tribe, who took it from the Kiowas. So we got these Native Americans stealing from Native Americans, stealing from Native Americans. The Kiowas took it from the Pawnee, who stole it from the Crow. And it goes on down the line. The Crow stole it from the Arikara tribe. I think that's how you pronounce that. But that's as far back as I could find any record of Native Americans stealing land from each other. So it's not like, the white people just come in and say, we're going to take all of this. This is ours now. Well, they were doing it before the white people ever got here. But here's the part the left don't want to tell you. When these Native American tribes would take over another tribe, they would take them as slaves, or they just kill them. A lot of times they would keep the women and use them for physical activities, we'll say, against their will. So it's not like they're this peace-loving people that everybody wants to portray them as being, in harmony with the land and all of that crap. I'm getting tired of hearing that crap, especially from these liberals. Basically Native Americans would move into an area and they would hunt it until every animal there was dead. And then they would move to another one, to kill everything there. And in the process, they were taking lands from other Native American nations. So all of this stolen land crap is just that crap. Okay. I'm up to here with the liberals, guys. That's why I got brown eyes. I'm up full of poop up to here because they're just so they're so full of it. But let's look at the money. All right. This is one of the things that's really going bad that you need to keep your eyes on. This is where gold and silver closed today. Gold started out today at over 5,000 and fell down to 47, almost 4,800 there. That's quite a big change. And then silver did the same thing.
That is a big number.
They're on a downswing right now, but that's okay. Don't sweat it. They're going to come back. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy gold and silver, but right now it's nowhere near where it's going to finish the year. I honestly believe that. It's just the history of the way it's gone over the last, well, since the first of the year. It's just gone up, 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 up. We knew that correction was coming. A lot of people tried to say it was because Donald Trump, announced he was going to appoint this certain guy as the Treasury Secretary. No, it had nothing to do with it. Nothing. What happened was everybody that bought gold or silver in the last 6 months of 2025, they bought futures, which is basically paper, silver, and gold. But it came due on January 30th of this year. And that's why you saw the price bottom out, because the people manipulating that is one of the ones right there that I got the price from, COMEX. They're manipulating the prices. And the other one, I think it's called FEC or something like that. That's the other big precious metals company. But they had to bottom it out to hedge their losses, because if they would have paid it out at where it was at its height, they would have just totally got smoked. They might have had to actually, declare bankruptcy. So instead of sending people, their $125 gold silver, they sent them their $89 silver. That's why they did that. They drove that price down so their losses wouldn't be so high. And you're going to see the same thing again next year. It's going to happen. But that's just part of what's happening with your money. Here's the other one right here. The dollar is dying quick on the world market, guys. You got 40 countries already lined up, ready to do business with BRICS. They're buying the heck out of gold. Right now, the BRICS nations control 60% of the precious metals on Earth. The U.S. used to be the leader in that, but not anymore. So combined with their gold purchases back and forth and their local currencies that they're using back and forth, because now they know each one of those countries has a gold reserve they're backing their currency up with. They know it's good. It's not fiat currency like the U.S. dollar. It actually has worth. But right now there's 40 of them lined up, ready to rock and roll. They're going to do it. And as more come on, that's going to damage the dollar even more. Keep your eyes on that, folks. Seriously, you need to keep your eyes on the economy.
Hell, Bill said platinum is the big dipper right now.
Platinum is going down. All of them's going down. Let me see if I can get them up here right quick and see what we got. They started trading again already. Gold is down $33.20 an ounce. Silver's down 46 cents an ounce. Platinum's down $88.50 an ounce. Well, those big dips on top of what we saw today and yesterday and the day before, they just keep dropping. But like I said, don't sweat it. I think they're going to come back up. Who we got here? Midway Farms. Thank you so much for jumping in. Yep, they've destroyed the country and they ain't done. About to get into that. Did anybody pay attention to this? The Trump administration announced a pullback in Minnesota. Guess who called that a week before he did it? This guy. And everybody thought I was crazy.
Didn't they leave 2,000 people up down there still?
Yeah, there's still plenty there, but they're coming out.
Okay.
They're going to bring them out. They're not going to leave them there. The administration is basically saying, okay, we've done all we can do here. We're going to leave this force here. We're going to leave, a couple thousand people here. We're going to back up on our operations. We're not going to do things like we were doing before, which might be a good thing. I don't know. But to me, it looks like they pretty much telling Antifa, you win. Anytime you do that, you lost. It's that simple. First sign of weakness, you lost. That's it. In any battle, your first sign of weakness, you're done. And that's why this is just one example. You've got all that mess in Seattle. You got it in Detroit. You got it, in California and everywhere else. People are actually calling for balkanization of the United States. But where would you draw the battle lines? It's not like you can say, okay, this part of the country is, conservative, capitalist nation, and this part of the country is going to be socialist. You can't do that. It's impossible, but there are people calling for it. And a good example is the city I'm from, Nashville, Tennessee. Tennessee is deep red, but Nashville is a sewer. It's a liberal sewer.
What's the problem? It's the cities.
Yeah, Atlanta's the same way. St. Louis, Detroit, well, Illinois is a liberal state anyway, but
Yeah,
I mean,
you always have.
You got Texas.
You
You
get
got
away from the cities, and that's where you find people that actually take a breath and listen to something.
Yeah, Texas is red, but cities like Austin and Dallas, they're big libs. So you can't say, okay, Texas is going to be part of this capitalist group of states, because the larger areas inside those states are socialist. So when you have this problem, there's only one answer. You know what that is? It's rebellion. It's a war within the United States. They're pushing it. They're pushing it hard. Okay, now this is just two. This is strike two. We're going to get to strike three in just a minute. But this is strike two. The way this country is coming apart at the seams from the inside. Abraham Lincoln was a Federalist. I didn't think much of him. I actually do research on stuff like the presidents and stuff, and I know who he really was. He was a Federalist. He wanted the government to be like a kingdom, the federal government, to be fully in charge. That's what the Civil War was actually about, guys. It wasn't about slavery. It wasn't about slavery until the Union got their ass kicked in Bull Run, and then they went to King George, who, we had beat in the Revolutionary War. They sent emissaries over there for England to become allies with the Union in the Civil War. And King George says, well, we're not going to do that as long as you have slavery in your country. And that's why you got the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed the slaves in the Confederate States, not the United States. A lot of people don't know that. All right. This is strike two we got going here. What we got going here? Government middle ass jacks that run the country. That's right. The bankers. That's right. The banks are the gangsters. I've been thinking about doing a live stream on that. A lot of people don't know, before 1913, there was no Federal Reserve. There was no income tax. And the United States was still just pumping right along until, the politicians handed it over to the bankers, the Federal Reserve. I'll get into that later. That's a whole nother show. Here we go. Wolverines. All right. Yeah, something like that might be coming. You never know. But hey, like I said, that's strike two. Let me take a drink. We're going to get into strike three. Here we go. Strike three. Been watching what's going on with Iran. All right. The U.S. military shot down a drone that was headed for aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln. They took it out of the sky. Iran didn't just let that go. They kind of retaliated. They sent gunships, not ships, boats, gun boats, to try to take a U.S. oil tanker that was over in the Straits of Hormuz. And of course, that didn't work out too well for the Iranians. But they're getting brave. They're getting really brave real quick. And they have declared that they want an all-out war with the United States of America. Now, they're doing these nuclear talks over in Oman now, I think. And they're talking about Iran trying to pull back on, trying to get them to not restart their nuclear program. How do you trust these people? You can't trust a damn thing they say. If they say, okay, we're not going to build another nuclear. program, then why are we having to send people over there to talk to them to stop them? That's straight up bull. That's crap. See, caught myself again.
Look at you.
Ruby, you're the girl. That's for you. But hey, it's coming, guys. It is coming. That's strike 3. Our economy's failing. We got calls for rebellion and national separation here in the United States, and we're fending off people overseas. Now, when did a little country like Iran get the capability to make us negotiate? That's the problem. Thank you, Jimmy Carter. Thank you. God rest your soul. Okay, all right. But that's when all of this started, was under him. America has gotten weaker and weaker and weaker. We've gotten presidents that will not stand up and say, hey, we're America, we're running the show, and that keeps the world at peace. We have one now that's trying, but he's backed down so much recently with things. I called it out last week when he was doing all that tough talk about going into Iran and helping the protesters over there, talking all of that big talk, what we were going to do. And then all of a sudden, the entire Verizon cell phone system went out. And what happened? He stopped talking that crap. Now, I don't believe in coincidence, especially one that big. And if you read that last book I wrote, Not Ready for Darkness, I made a play off with this title here. But, it could so easily, we have systems that could be hacked. We know there are foreign governments that hate us, that have access to our utilities, our intelligence, and pretty much anything we have connected to the internet. We know that. China's admitted it. They straight up said, yeah, we can cut your water off. I mean, not quite like that, but they admitted they could cut off the water supply here in the United States. And then when Verizon went out and Donald Trump shut up, that's just too big of a coincidence for me to think they're not connected. I might be crazy, but I mean, I know that's just the way things work, especially in warfare. When a power invades another country, first thing they knock out the communication.
They were testing.
And they were just showing, look what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this, Mr. President. Boop. And there went Verizon. I might be nuts. I don't know. I've been called a lot of things, and nuts is one of them. Marsha's with us. All right. Thank you so much, girl. Right there says it. The war between the states was a sham. Yes, it was. That's because Abraham Lincoln wanted to be a king. He wanted to have supreme rule over the United States of America. You know what that war started over? Port fees, and believe it or not, tariffs. Back then, the states were making the heck out of money on their port fees and the tariffs for the goods going out, of the South over to Europe, to South America or wherever. The southern states were making the heck out of money. See, I just didn't say that other word.
The children need to come back every week.
I'm being good tonight.
Yeah, we need all the children every week.
They were making a lot of money, and the federal government wanted to cut. That's what started that war. Not slavery. If you don't believe me, go look it up, and don't use Google. Okay?
Bill says you might be crazy, but that don't mean you're wrong.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I've been right about a lot of stuff people thought I was wrong about. And that was one of, like, them pulling out of Minnesota. I called that a week before it happened. And there's more and more coming out, believe me. They're surrendering to the people of Minnesota. Now, if you live in Minnesota and you support that, you should be proud. And I'm not saying it won't happen here in Florida, but I can guarantee you one thing. If it does happen here in Florida, it won't be when we have a conservative president in the White House. unless we have a major change in our governor's mansion. I don't see that coming. I watched a video today about somebody complaining about all the protesters in the street in Carolina, in North Carolina. And down here, they're just a speed bump. Our governor made it legal for you to run through those people. And that's the way it should be everywhere.
Keeps them on the sidewalk.
Yeah, we don't have that problem down here. You know, they actually had a protest in Tampa, and the people on the side of the street, when the light turned red, they'd walk out in front of the cars and hold up their signs. But when the light was about to turn, no, when it turned red, they were holding up their signs. And when the light turned green, they scurried out of the street like ants. Because they were about to get run over. That's the way it should be everywhere. Break out the poker chips. I've been known to do that. All right. But hey, I'm just telling you guys, get ready. Now, here's another thing. We don't have to lose our resources, our power, our water, our electric power, and stuff like that from a cyber attack or from a nuclear attack or attack from a foreign land. If we ever do have a civil war here, you're going to lose those services. You think everything's just going to be fine, you know, but there's a group of people over there fighting? No. That ain't going to happen. Get ready to lose your utilities, water and electric, especially right now, the way things are going. The dollar's collapsing. We have rebellion within the country, and we're trying to fend off a nuclear power overseas. That ain't good. This country's never been in that position. Never, ever, ever. This could be it. You know, we got some intel last week that something bad is about to happen. And right now, it ain't looking good. So get ready, guys. Get ready. Get your power ready. Get your water ready. Get your food stored. Whatever you need to survive, get it ready now. Because like I said, our country has never been in this shape in our history.
Make sure you have solar power pack.
Yep, solar power backup. You got to have it, guys. Got to. Water's hard to store. Just get you a method to harvest water and purify it. Food's easy. I'll keep reminding you. Those canned goods you buy for, you know, $1.25 a piece, they're good forever. Just because it says Best Buy on it don't mean it's bad.
Buy two.
Yep. When you buy one to eat, buy one to put in storage. It's that simple. There we go. It's that simple.
It's that simple.
All right. All right. I want to thank every one of you for being here. You know, what I try to do, I should have made a copy of that email. Got an email from a guy the other day in Miami, of all places. He said that channels like mine are just here to scare people, make money by scaring people. I ain't making a dime. Y'all know that.
Right?
They won't pay me.
Did you tell him that?
Yeah, I should have made a copy of that. I wish I did, but I didn't. But I think that's about it, y'all. Get ready, guys. Just get ready. If it all goes out right now, you should be ready. Okay, you're not going to live in a lap of luxury for sure, but you want to have what you need to be comfortable and survive. That's it. Let's see what happens between now and next week. I'll be back with you then, unless something happens.
If we're going to lose our power, it needs to happen now so we can ease into summer.
Like I said, we got some intel that something big might be coming real soon, and we stepped up our preps here. So I'm thinking maybe you should too. But with that, I'm going to say stay strong and keep prepping and pray for the USA and pray for my lady over there. She's sick. We need to get her well real soon. Thank you, all of you, for being here. I love every one of you. The Orlando Prepper is out.